Hi YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer Evelyn. Today we're going to be reviewing the movie that I just saw, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Well, I saw the original Transformers films that came out in the early 2000s with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. At the time I was like, whoa, that trucks, cars, Porsches turning into big robots. Now, we had those movies in the early 2000s. Now in 2023, imagine the advancement of CGI. And let me tell you, Transformers Rise of the Beasts has executed a level of unbelievability but realism at the same time. They have great shots of the cars driving around, of course with nobody inside there, and you have the awesome special effects of the transitions of, let's say, the Chevrolet Camaro Bumblebee turning into the robot, and of course the Porsche 911. Now, I saw the other film Bumblebee that starred Haley Steinfeld. I liked the idea. It was set in 1984. The only thing that put me off was John Cena. John Cena is not a good actor. He needs to do a different role because he always plays the over-exaggerated buffoon that he believes is so tough, but I'm going off topic here. I was surprised to find out that Transformers Rise of the Beast is set in 1994, so it's after the events of 1984 in Bumblebee, in which we have a shot of the homeworld of the Maximals, the advanced race of Transformers with beast modes, comes under attack from a planet-eating dark god Unicron. No more Megatron this time, Unicron. Because in Transformers Rise of the Beasts, we see other forms of Transformers called the Maximals, and they took out different forms of animals, of the gorilla, cheetah, the bird, raven, a hawk, and what was the other ones? A rhino. So that was just awesome to see that the animal Transformers. So the Terracons, heralds of the Unicron, well, the henchmen of this planet-eating godly Unicron, led by Scrouge, seeks to obtain for their master the Maximus' greatest piece of technology, the Transwarp Key, which can open portals to different worlds or dimensions. And as well, we have the Maximal leader of Apeling, who apparently sacrifices himself to allow the Maximals to escape the planet before Unicron devours it. Now, under the command of Optimus Primal, okay, so Optimus Primal is the big gorilla. The Maximals use the key to flee to Earth. So we have that scene that they go to Earth. So we get set in 1994 in Brooklyn. Ex-military electronics expert Noah Diaz is struggling to find a job to support his young brother and his mother. The brother has some sort of condition with his arm, so he gets convinced to steal a Porsche 911. Now, the interesting fact about Transformers Rise of the Beasts, they've taken away from the whole thing of, you know, Bumblebee, the relationship that he has with humans. Now they're giving the Porsche 911 some love. However, what Noah Diaz doesn't know that the Porsche 911 is a Transformer called Mirage. Now, this character Mirage, he carries the flamboyance. We can see with the Transformers, some of them have tried to integrate with human society, so they get a lot of references from different cultural things that happened around that time period. So when Noah tries to steal the car, he has a change of heart. It's like, no, I don't want to do this. But at the same time, this kind of like archaeologist finds the Transwarp Key, one half of it that's buried in this kind of statue thing, and activates the light. And this alerts Optimus Prime and the others that have been stuck on Earth, because throughout the film we get mentioned with the same thing like in the previous films, that due to the war on the Cybertron, Optimus Prime and the other Autobots had to leave their planet for safety to regroup, but unbeknownst to them, they end up getting stuck on Earth, and hence they are hidden in plain sight. One thing you'll get from these movies is a lot of references from the intro of Transformers, robots in disguise. I remember briefly seeing the cartoons of Transformers, but it was just like so funny, the cultural references back again. It's like they slip in some of the actors to say the key words from the intro. So when Optimus gives the call signal to all the other Autobots to come together, Mirage is forced to take Noah with him, but at the same time playfully playing with him, and then we get a cool chase scene of Mirage, the Porsche 911, speeding off with Noah inside. And the funny thing of Noah is the realistic ideas of like a talking car. And there's another bit that nobody, as a kid, you never realize, but the crash scenes with the police, with the head-on collisions, in real life, the policeman would be dead. That's one thing you never think about when watching these films, is in real life, the policemen are dead with these head-on collisions. But anyway, besides the point. So Mirage takes Noah into an abandoned kind of like warehouse thing, and then where he goes and I don't want to say exposes himself, but reveals his form. And Mirage tries is telling Noah that we're aliens, so on. Because one part of the film that I guess is realistic is Noah trying to come to grips that, okay, they may be looking like robots, but they're aliens. So the first half of the film is Noah trying to reconcile with the fact. But on top of that, when they all group together with the Transformers, they end up finding out that they need to find that key could help them for returning back to the home on Cybertron. So, but they find out that the key is hidden like in the museum place where the archaeologist is having a look at it, and the archaeologist is named Elena Wallace, studying it. So Mirage suggests, since of course all of them are cars and they can't exactly drive into a building, Mirage comes with the idea for Noah to help them. Of course, Noah at first is resistant. He's like, I don't want to do this. This whole thing is weird for obvious reasons. But Mirage tells him, look, you can sell me, and then you get the money, and then I go off. Which Noah initially agrees to. So when he goes to the place where this key is held, the other evil, what's it called again? The evil people. I thought they were like the Decepticons, but the evil Transformers, just for the sake of simplicity, are there. To cut the long story short, there's great scenes in Peru that left me astounded, and we meet other Transformers that can transform into a plane, into a Volkswagen van. So they end up finding the other Optimus Primals. Oh wait, not the Primal. The Maximals. They end up finding the Maximals and Optimus Primal, which is so hilarious. Apparently he named himself after Optimus Prime. And then we get a sad scene where Bumblebee is apparently dead, but at the same time we know that they can be revived with Transformers. So it's a bit tricky when we're talking about machines being sentient, having intelligence. But then again, like, what does it constitute as life? But we'll get into semantics here. So they end up defeating Scourge, and they end up stopping the demon-eating god of planets, Unicron, from coming through the wormhole. The warp hole, the big hole, whatever it's called, that opens up in the sky and you see in those films. And then we get the reconciliation of Optimus Prime trusting humans, and Noah as well being in a position of prominence and yet saving the world. So I recommend seeing the movie. Spoiler here if you don't want a spoiler. At the end, when everything's all said and done, Noah goes for a job interview, and his job interview is extremely weird. So he starts talking to the job interviewer guy about having some work in South America, and the interviewer guy drops in the line saying, oh, you didn't taste the Peruvian food, because the main part, the third act in the film, is they're in Peru trying to discover the other parts of the key, even the codes. Because just to remind you, if I didn't say it before, this key can open up portals, so it's very handy for the Autobots. But at the end of the day, they end up destroying the key because that was the mechanism or the plot device to keep the Transformers, the Autobots, back on Earth. And getting back to the end scene, it ends up revealing that the guy that Noah was interviewing with is part of the G.I. Joes. When I saw that, I was like, whoa! I did see also the G.I. Joe movies, like they're not, the greatest movies for acting in the world, but I see it as a clever plot device, because as far as I know, Hasbro is the owner of the G.I. Joe toys. I mean, they make the toys, so I guess it makes sense in that aspect of the Transformers that were like He-Man, from what I believe, were first toys, and then they made it into a cartoon series, and as well G.I. Joes. And Noah just says at the moment no, but when the guy opens up this mysterious room, he sees a mysterious hidden wall that opens up as a door, and we see the technology, the army people there, and we get the idea that the G.I. Joes want Noah to help him, being like maybe bring in the Autobots. That could be for the second film, or however you like to take Bumblebee, Rise of the Beasts, but whatever. I read on Wikipedia that Rise of the Beast will be part 1 of a trilogy that they're planning. If they carry on this line of different time periods, and also as well keeping that serious tone, because what got too tangled up with the original 4 Transformers films is too much of the tongue-in-cheek and not enough seriousness to believe. And the actors that they chose, I never agreed with Mark Wahlberg to be with the Transformer movies, because it just didn't fit him, like stylistically. Mark Wahlberg as an actor, we know he can act. He did The Fighter, for Christ's sake. So anyway, this is the end of the video. Some of it is rambling because I don't want to explain the entire movie. I don't want to bore people. Just the important points. We get to see animal Transformers, cool shots in Peru, and of course the hint of a G.I. Joe crossover. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about the Transformers movies. Have you seen it? And do you think this is a good strategy that they're doing of setting the Transformers back before the early 2000s? So as I leave you always, stay safe.